Yeah, I was just going through the news today and I found out that yeah, I was just looking at Arman Sarikian and Demetrius Johnson. Some of the other clips are coming up as well, like Arman was Steiny and like he's on podcast every day. This guy is either doing a podcast, he's or doing a streaming or training with somebody. Like with Demetrius Johnson, I think he trained for a while. And then these guys did a podcast together. And Demetrius actually asked him very good questions. The day before he was with Matan. Before that, he was with Aaron Ross. He was with Neon. So I mean, he's pretty active in terms of like the streaming circle. He's putting in a lot of effort, and I think it deserves the title shot, man. This is the rightful, deserving of the 155 title, to be honest. Like, and I don't really know why he's not fighting for the title. Like that is kind of crazy. Like this guy deserves the title shot. He's the most active guy in the UFC roster right now when it comes to actually fighting, being active, taking part in the wrestling matches, taking part in the grappling matches, and not just that, even on streaming, he's the most popular guy right now. And I don't understand, like Paramount first caught UFC wanted the fights to get popular. They wanted people to be interested in the fight, so they actually put Paddy Pimblett versus Justin Gaethje. Even Arman Sarukian would have been a much more interested guy. This is the guy that hasn't lost a lot of fights. So you would have caused more suspense. Whereas with Justin Gaethje, people are like kind of like undervaluing him a little bit and not really paying attention to what could happen in the fight. Because Justin Gaethje has been awarded the opportunity like multiple times. He has lost a lot of fights, and anytime he fights a good grappler, he gets out wrestled and then out grappled. So I think a lot of people are just writing him off, and is not that interested anymore. He's at the end of his career as well. People don't find him that interesting. So I think the fight with Arman Sarikan would have actually been a bigger fight. It's just that I feel like UFC is trying to get like they're trying to they're trying to target the casual fan base, and they feel like the fight with Justin Gaethje and Paddy Pimblett is going to be more entertaining in terms of like on the feet. These guys are going to be throwing bombs. They both don't like to play very smart. They both like to throw hands, kicks, just bang on the feet. That's what they like to do. And UFC feels like that fight is going to be way more entertaining than what Paddy fight versus Arman would have been. So I guess this is the logic behind it. But to me, it doesn't make any sense. Yeah, to me, it's you could have targeted the actual hard MMA base with the Arman versus Paddy fight. That would have been more. That would have been an amazing fight. But Justin Gaethje, it's like people are not fighting the fight interesting. It's like you're targeting the casual fan base, and I understand it, but it just doesn't make any sense. Ah. By the way, I didn't know that Arman Sarukian actually played hockey from 9 to 17. So he did wrestling from 6 to 9. And then from 9 to 17, he actually played hockey. He wanted to be a hockey player. And then from 17 onwards, he started doing grappling. And then he realized that with grappling, you need wrestling as well. So he went back to freestyle wrestling. And then he started doing after freestyle wrestling, he started doing MMA. And then with the MMA, he actually made his pro debut without having any amateur fights. So he had a few pro fights. And then he realized that it's better to have some amateur fights. So then he came back to Russia, had like a few amateur fights. And then he went back to pro fights again. And then he got put up against Islam Makhachev very early on in his career when he was not very experienced. He was only like 22 years old, I think, when he fought Islam, and he lost that fight. The only loss after that is against it was Gamrot later on in his career, which he dominated kind of like he should have definitely won that fight 3-2. He was taking down Gamrot in the first two rounds. Gamrot got like a few takedowns, I think, in the fourth and the fifth round. But even in those rounds, like it wasn't like control takedown. Gamrot wasn't controlling Arman. Arman was getting back up. It's just that what do you guys think about it, though? Do you guys think Arman should have been the one fighting for the title? I think it should have been Arman. Yeah, so I am sure most of the people are actually gonna agree with me on this thing. Okay, this is the news that I'm actually going through, and it's saying Patty Pimblett told get to work on promoting UFC 324 for Paramount, and it's not a good look for UFC. So that depends on who you ask. It's chubby Patty fight week, but I'm doing the press run. Number one ranked lightweight contender Arman Sarikan wrote on Instagram, "Wake up, fat ass, and get to work." It's not a good look for the UFC. And Arman Sarikan, because Arman Sarikan has been very active in the media and he's been actually doing putting in a lot of work outside the cage. He's calling Paddy Pimblett chubby, and he's like, "Get to work." So I think he wants Paddy to actually promote the fight, but it's just Arman taking the shots from outside because he doesn't like Paddy Pimblett. He thinks that Paddy was awarded a title shot because Dana was trying to just not give the title shot to Arman, so you had to give it to somebody else. And to him, Paddy is like the golden boy of UFC that UFC is trying to protect, and they're trying to promote him like Conor McGregor. And then he says it's a garbage fight. Former UFC welterweight Matt Brown told MMA fighting. That's a co-main event fight on probably a big card or something. This is a co-main event number one contender fight after Arman and Ilya fight. That's what it should be. To be fair, garbage belongs in a trash can. I mean, I don't know why Matt Brown is saying it because he's like a 170 and he's retired as well. It's not as clear as day with this situation as it could ever be that the UFC is entertainment and our sport. I don't know what to tell you. Brown added, the fight is an entertainment fight. This is not a sport fight. No one was begging to see Pimblett versus Gaethje. When you look at the numbers, why do you have rankings? I mean, that is true. Like, why do you have rankings when Justin Gaethje's like number like 5 or 6 in the rankings? Paddy Pimblett is kind of the same. And you don't have the best guys. You don't fighting for the title. You don't have Arman Sarikan fighting for the title. Sarikan had beef with the lightweight punching bag after UFC went well. WWE that said Alcaraz continues to be his own worst enemy and probably would have been headlining all the big cards if he wasn't beating up UFC fans, bailing on main events, and headbutting opponents. Then there's Dan Hooker and Paddy Pimblett's feud is going pretty hot as well. Dan is saying, "You go low, I go lower." Dan Hooker isn't interested in de-escalating his war of words with Paddy Pimblett. Um, the UFC lightweight have verbally been at each other's throats in recent weeks, taking deeply personal shots at each other through interviews. Pimblett started the feud, saying Dan Hooker couldn't grapple a fucking rapist of his mom. And Hooker replied by questioning Pimblett for being friend to his face in an earlier meeting, only to change his attitude. I'm doing so. Hooker referenced Ricky, a friend of Pimblett's who died by suicide. Pimblett accused Hooker of crossing the line, but in Hooker's opinion, he was simply matching fire with fire. I mean, yeah, to be honest, I don't blame him. He talked about a rapist. He's like, you couldn't grapple a fucking rapist of his mom. So then he's taking shots at his friend who committed suicide. Fair game, I guess, right? Everything is allowed in love and war. Fuck around and find out, brother, Hooker told Combat TV for confirming that the mention of Pimlett's friend was a deliberate attempt to rattle him. That's all you can say about that. Fuck around and find out. You want to take it there? That shit you don't talk about as fighters. He can say whatever he wanted. He tried to get a reaction. He fucking got one. You go low, I go lower. Um, the Hangman admitted Pimlet's comments affected him and that they won't be squashing the beef anytime soon as far as he's concerned. I think Dan Hooker is just trying to fit in the title picture, and Paddy Pimlet is trying to do the same because he doesn't want to fight Arman Sarikan. He's trying to build up like a future fight. You want to say some horrible shit like that, yeah, I'm going to think of the most horrible shit I could possibly, and I'm going to bring that shit up too. Hooker said he genuinely pissed me off. He genuinely got under my skin and he got a reaction. He wanted to piss me off. He pissed me off. I wanted to say something to the feel so the feeling is mutual. I want to kick your head in the next time I see you. Now you want to kick my head in back. Now the feeling is mutual. I've got no intention of making up. There's no coming back from that. So these guys, they both want to kick each other's head in. That's fair. And now you have Gable Stevenson training with John Jones. Be back in a second. Okay, so we're just gonna check it out. So Gable Stevenson is putting in the work ahead of his third scheduled mixed martial arts appearance. The former two-time NCAA champion wrestler and Olympic gold medalist is training extensively with ex-UFC 2 division champion John Jones to hone his skill set as he works his way towards his goal of an octagon debut. Okay, so what is he doing? Okay, it's a great weekend with Gable. That's John Jones talking about him. John Jones wrote on Instagram, he's leveling up extraordinarily fast. Teaching is a martial art of its own, and I'm still learning. It won't be long now until we are standing there with the new heavyweight champion of the world. So John Jones actually believed that Gable Stevenson is going to be able to win the heavyweight championship of the world. He's very confident about it. I saw he was hitting pads with Gable, and also he was doing like a bit of grappling with Gable as well. They were doing wrestling, yeah. So I mean, Gable is pretty explosive and is actually very good. So I don't see actually many fighters in UFC actually beating him, but it just he needs to improve some of the things. I think he's definitely gonna make it to top five. Then it's gonna be difficult for him after top five because then you have to be really good. Like your skills have to be on point. You cannot have any sort of weaknesses. So right now, I know he's explosive. I know he's got punching power, but does he have the technique? Does he have the experience, required experience? And we haven't seen his kicking game yet as well. And also, I'm not sure about his jiu-jitsu. Like I'm pretty sure he can take guys down, probably do a bit of ground and pound, and also with like ground and pound. Like how good is his technique, ground and pound? How good is his control? So these are the things that you learn with experience. Okay, Bones is still holding out, hoping for a fight on the UFC White House card that is expected to be held this June. Um, all right, so let me see what else is new in the MMA world. Paddy Pimblett is a gambling man. What are you guys' opinions on Arman Saryukin, by the way? When do you think he gets the title shot? Do you think he gets the title shot by the end of the year? Or do you think the UFC will actually delay to next year? I know Paddy doesn't want to give him the title shot, and that's why. He's trying to have a beef with everybody else. Okay, so the UFC is back in a Sin City home base for UFC 324, its first numbered event of the calendar year and no longer in pay-per-view at the start of the Paramount broadcast era. Embedded 5-week video series is here to document what's happening behind the scenes. Take place Saturday at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. Wait, let me check 1 second. Guys, I am actually feeling very sleepy right now, so I'm probably just gonna go to sleep, to be honest. Like, I am feeling really sleepy. So I'm gonna have a quick nap, but hopefully after the workout, I'm gonna be able to stream. I will do one stream afterwards, but have a good one.